Alright, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan, I'm your favorite professional wrestling fan, Eric Rodriguez here, with all your wrestling know-how. Find out all your, breaking news in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. Also find out superstar news, injury updates, inactive statuses. Also, we talk about basically everything, like from professional wrestling to the CMLL to WWE. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys, tune in. All right, guys, we're going to talk about some AEW Full Gear predictions. I got my notes right here, and let's go and jump on into it. First and foremost, Full Gear has been one of the most, original events in terms of AEW, and Saturday, November 23rd, the main card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and, it kind of sucks, but ultimately, it is what it is. It's not going to be aired on HBO Max or Whatever, so we're going to have to pay for it, which, by all means, I was kind of like, but... you can, Thriller TV and Bleacher Report, YouTube, you guys can find it for like $50. It's not too expensive. It's not too bad whatsoever in terms, because I remember, growing up, I remember when I was younger, paying like $70, $80 for freaking the Royal Rumble, and I was like, that. I think it was in 2008. I paid for the Royal Rumble, and I was excited. I thought Triple H was going to win, and then John Cena had to come out at number 30, and I was like, oh my God, no way. I should have just, I used my allowance on that. I remember that. Yeah, I should have just waited to find out the results. If I knew John Cena was just going to win, which all he does in WWE back in my time growing up, he was like, he had the best winning percentage in terms of professional wrestling. But I guess in all the professional wrestling in WWE as a whole, I think I read this in an article that Bret Hart won the most matches. He has the best winning percentage of any WWE, WWF superstar in all of history. So, it's kind of crazy. I thought it was John Cena for sure. All right, guys. So let's go and start off. We're going to start off with the pre-match, the pre-show. It's QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ is going to fight. I don't know, obviously, I'm not really too fond of those guys. What's going on with Mariah May? Why is she having a champagne celebration with Mina Shirakawa at the pay-per-view? I don't really, recently Toni Storm she retired from TNA, according to Tony Khan. After her time in AEW, she hasn't been seen since losing against the Glamour Mariah May at AEW. I think it was not Wrestle Dream. It wasn't Wrestle Dream. Was it Double? No, it wasn't Double or Nothing. I'm not too sure. All In or All Out? All In or All Out? One of those. You haven't really seen timeless Toni Storm. And I love myself some Mariah May. She's cool and all, but it just, the AEW Women's Championship doesn't really have that much of a bang anymore. It doesn't really have that much of a, in-your-face style that Toni Storm ultimately had whenever she came out in the ring, kind of representing that title. So for me, I kind of miss Toni Storm, being honest. Although, Mariah May's cool. Mina Shirakawa, obviously impressive. We're going to have a champagne celebration. Maybe Mina Shirakawa finds her way, attacking Mariah May, kind of starting this babyface run. Maybe that could be a possibility for her. And, Mariah May right now, she's kind of left in AEW, not really having any close friends. But then again, not really kind of having, any say-so in terms of, who her next faction's going to be, if she even has a faction. But right now, you have Dr. Britt Baker, she continues to be impressive. She was supposed to get the number one contendership. Obviously, she got hurt. Then it was taken place by the new member for the CMLL World Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale. But now you just, for me, I feel like Mariah May, right now, it's not really working out. It's not really working out. Are we going to see Hook take on Christian Cage? Hook, obviously, in pursuit of avenging what Christian Cage did to his father, Taz, the ECW legend. Obviously, I feel like this is just going to promote more harm than good instead of it happening, because the patriarchy right now and Hook, It's all by himself. Like, you haven't really seen his buddies, Katsuhiro Shibata or Samoa Joe, kind of by his side. Samoa Joe's been out for such a long time. It's kind of frank that I bring his name up. But, Hook, ever since he retired the FTW Championship, he's not really relevant anymore. And it sucks right now. He kind of has this storyline with Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian, Christian Cage, and But, I just want to see something better for Hook. There's been a lot of speculation when Hook's contract is up in AEW. He's going to wind up in WWE. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. I feel like he will forever kind of be on AEW. Obviously, that's where his dad is. And, I just want to see something more for Hook. But then, obviously, that's just, that's just me. That's just me. All right, we have Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is not like Will Ospreay. He did so, trying to convince fans so hard that he shaved his own head, which was interesting, but yeah, funny as hell. But at the same time, it's kind of like, really, dude? Like, is this all you got? Going up against a legend like Will Ospreay. So definitely, I feel like 1,010% we're going to get a win by Will Ospreay. Or maybe this is a way to kind of put Kyle Fletcher over, to kind of ultimately have the Don Callis family look a little bit more intricate, to look a little more innovative, successful, dominant, kind of a little, astounding effort. Because for the longest time, like I said, the Don Callis family, ever since you kind of had Will Ospreay kind of go out on his own after being signed to AEW, he kind of went out on his own. He didn't, kind of dropped them like a bad habit. And, they didn't look good. They didn't look good whatsoever. And then, the Don Callis family, they got Roosh, and they got the Beast Mortos, and then they got people like, Brian Cage. They also got Lance Archer, and now they have Kyle Fletcher, and, Konosuke Takeshita. And it's just, so it's all kind of seemed like it's kind of, coming together piece by piece. So for me, I feel like this match, if Will wins, it's another win under Will's belt. And I feel like it would kind of kill the momentum of Kyle Fletcher, try to establish his own singles, career going on. So for me, I'm definitely would love to put the win on Kyle Fletcher there. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman takes on Roderick Strong one-on-one. It is not a triple threat match because Adam Cole did not defeat Konosuke Takeshita, which kind of sucks. Like, people want to see Adam Cole take on MJF more than Roderick Strong taking on MJF. Which, by all means, like, I understand why the AEW kind of ultimately kind of left it open, kind of left the possibility of, a possible, like a possible turn, possibly that could be done by, Roderick Strong. Also, Konosuke Takeshita as well. So it should be, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So overall, I feel like AEW Full Gear is, it's decent. It's going to be a great, overall, it's going to be a great promo. It's going to be a great pay-per-view, 1,010%. So, make sure you guys tune in. All right, we have Jack Perry taking on Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. For me, I can't wait to see Jack Perry lose. I've always kind of, hated Jack Perry, but, got to throw him his flowers. I definitely got to throw him his flowers 1,010%, because the way the scapegoat has been ever since this whole, Elite storyline with, Matthew Nicholas Jackson. Also, you had New Japan Professional Wrestling, Kazuchika Okada come in and win the AEW Continental Championship from New Japan Professional Wrestling. And, ever since he kind of came in, I don't know. I just feel like he's kind of been the outliner, kind of been the only one kind of willing to shine in terms of, in terms of the faction, in terms of the group. So, if he wins, cool. But right now, Daniel Garcia has been, it's been crazy. And, credit to Jack Perry. His title run, his reign has been solidified. He's been solidified as a true competitor by his, everyone he's defeated with the Blood and Guts. Also the Anarchy in the Arena. Also the singles bouts. He has, by all means, solidified his name as a solid, champion. So it wouldn't be surprising. And right now, Daniel Garcia is so over with the fans right now. It's absolutely crazy. He's super over. I feel like right now, he recently signed with AEW, could have signed with WWE. Didn't really happen. He stayed true to AEW, and ultimately it was pretty cool. Hangman Adam Page taking on Switchblade Jay White. Jay White right now is 4-1 against the Hangman. At this match, I think Hangman's got to win this one. And he's going to. I feel like he's going to win this one, obviously. You kind of have to start to have things, kind of even up a little bit. And, wouldn't surprise me if you see Hangman, hang up a win tonight or on Saturday against, the Bang Bang Gang leader, Jay Switchblade. Also, we have Mercedes Moné defending her AEW TBS Championship against Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander is the first and only person to defeat Jade Cargill. She's had, some history with TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné needs to lose a title. I'm sorry. It's about time. This the whole double championship thing. It's working and it's not really working. Like, she was on Dynamite and she got, she's a heel, which is good, but she was, got told to shut the F up. They were chanting it over and over again. Obviously, when she signed AEW, I didn't really think that, she thought the fans were going to kind of take this, overall kind of beating in terms of verbal abuse here. But overall, Mercedes Moné, she's a formidable champion. She's been great. Absolutely phenomenal. She's one of the most, decorated talents in terms of professional wrestling from WWE. To Ring of Honor, to New Japan Professional Wrestling, to right now in AEW. Whatever she's done in the past has been glorious. It's been great. And, her going up against Kris Statlander, I want to see more for Kris. I feel like she's going to be, a star. And, it'll be interesting to see if Mercedes Moné drops her title. Next, we have, Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii. Once again, the signing was a little bit bonked, but I feel like these two will ultimately fight at AEW Full Gear with Tomohiro Ishii coming out the victor. Swerve Strickland going up against Lashley. The Hurt Syndicate obviously are going to stand by ringside, and, if Swerve loses, which most likely he will. And I was talking about, in our first segment about AEW Dynamite, how the AEW has to be really careful of not killing Swerve Strickland's momentum. We don't want it to see plummet. We don't want to see his stock plummet. But, it's possible that we could have this happen. Maybe the interference, maybe somewhere, like I said, maybe Leo Rush comes out to, tell Swerve Strickland to be like, hey, if the numbers game catches up on you, guess what? I got your back. And then Leo Rush to kind of be in the sweet graces of MVP kind of helps the Swerve lose. And then, of course, we have the main event, Jon Moxley taking on Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship after the brutal assault on Bryan Danielson at AEW All Out. Moxley and company are just assaulting everyone. They're running their will. They continue their dominance on AEW, and I feel like right now, honestly, I feel like it's going to keep going. I don't really see any reason why to stop this momentum by Jon Moxley. But I think Orange Cassidy is going to have a nice little run. But overall, should be pretty interesting. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our next segment. We have our WWE Women's Speed #1 contendership. We have a tournament coming up next week on X, or Twitter, however you guys like to call it, to find out who's going to take on Candice LeRae for the WWE Women's Speed Championship. So, hey, do not go anywhere.